Welcome to the penultimate, second to last if you missed that Latin class, the penultimate episode of Irresistible, You Ignite Your Passion and Purpose. My name is Karen Seltz. I have loved hosting this show for over 3 years now, and there are only, two more, including this episode, left. So buckle up. I put it out to my Facebook following, all my friends and followers, like, what are some topics that you would really like me to cover? I only have 2 more left. Who knows what will happen after that? I'm seriously considering starting a podcast. So if you have ideas for that, I am more than open to titles, suggested show themes, however I can best serve you is what I'm here for. That is what I am here for. If you are new to me, I am a subconscious mind reprogramming expert. I support people in moving past events that were difficult or traumatic that are over with, so that all the energy the subconscious mind is using to try to fix those things for you can now be available to you in this moment. So your humor, your ability to think logically, strategically, your ability to heal quickly, physically, all of those things become available to you now. And in the process, your suffering that you've been going through is gone, which is what I'm all about. I'm all about eliminating suffering. What the heck are we going to talk about in this episode? You might be asking yourself. We are talking about how to actually find your purpose and your passion. I know for many, many years, I was thinking, oh, what am I here for? And I just kept like stabbing at things, and I kept doing different things. And I'm like, oh, I think I'm getting closer, but this isn't quite it. Until I landed upon what I'm doing now, I never felt like totally in alignment, but I'm like, I knew I was getting closer. So I think one of the biggest things I will tell you right now is people put so much pressure on knowing the thing, what it is they're here for, before they actually start or put a lot of effort into anything. At least I did. I shouldn't say people. I did. I'm like, I don't want to waste all this time and energy if this isn't the thing. And so I spent a lot of time thinking and learning new things. I took a lot of classes, I got a lot of certifications, some letters after my name, like big deal. But at the time, I felt like I needed it. So here's what I'm going to say about the subconscious mind and when you make things important. So if you think, oh, it's absolutely imperative that I know what I'm here for before I take any action, before I, try something, because what if this isn't the thing? Anytime you make something important, the subconscious mind makes up that thing must be important for your survival. Now, there are things that we will say like, oh, I have to do this. I need to do that. I should do that. All of those things. Here's the questions I want you to ask. Will something or someone die if you do not do them? So for example, if you don't water your plants, they will die. If you don't feed your pets and give them water, they will die. If you don't feed your children, they will die. So most things are not that critical. When you think about, oh, I have to figure out what business I'm supposed to be in. I have to figure out my purpose. Well, are you going to die? Is anyone else going to die if you don't? No. So start thinking this way. Instead of saying and thinking those words like I need to, I have to, it's important. I want you to notice those things. And that's the first step to anything, to changing any behavior, is awareness. You get to become aware of what you've been doing unconsciously, because we use language in a way that is unconscious most of the time. So think about, I always tell people, like, they're like, I don't know what's in my subconscious mind. I'm like, well, follow yourself around with a tape recorder or whatever, your phone. There's no tape recorders anymore. And listen to what comes out of your mouth, or write down what's in your head. What are the thoughts in your head? Because those, when you start hearing yourself, you'll start to get a feeling and a really good working knowledge of what's really in there. So I can tell when I listen to people because I'm listening for their language patterns. What are they saying? What are the things they're saying as if they are facts? And catch yourself with this, like the world is round, the world is flat, like anything like that. Like life is unfair. Life should be fair. Like any of those shoulds or is equals signs, just watch yourself. And when you hear those things come out of your mouth or you think those things, ask yourself this: is believing that getting me closer to my intention, whatever it is? Or does believing that or saying that make me feel good? Is it coming from love or fear? And when you start to ask yourself questions and really question the beliefs, then you can really make some changes quickly. So what are beliefs? Beliefs are simply thoughts that you continue to think over and over and over until you no longer think them. They're just installed as facts. And I talk a lot in rapid resolution therapy when I'm meeting with clients or potential clients. We use this metaphor called red sand. And I actually made a little thing. It's kind of funny. So I'm going to show it to you because it's my craft project. I don't do many crafts. So red sand. So you see, I have this clear container. The red sand represents any thought, belief, emotion, any event that got into your subconscious mind before the age of 7. Now, this layer here represents all that stuff. It could be stuck data, which I talk about a lot in RRT. But stuck data is things that were difficult or traumatic. They get processed and stored in a different way, and they are in high definition. So usually you can remember way too many details about certain events, right? Like it was raining that day and I was wearing a pink sweater. Like we remember the smells, who was there, all kinds of details. Whereas if I asked you, hey, what did you have for dinner last Tuesday? You'd have to think about it for a moment. So the red sand is the beliefs that got in there. Like, I am only good if I clean my room. Mommy only loves me when she's smiling at me or when I do good things. So like a lot of us, our worth gets tied to our behavior or how happy whoever raised us was with us that day. Like, oh, today mommy's happy with me, I must be lovable. The next day, dad's mad at me. Oh gosh, I must not have any value. So that kind of stuff is that red sand. In addition to that, we create all these distorted meanings because we're so little. We don't even have a conscious mind until we're about 7 or 8 years old. So the conscious mind is capable of logic, reason, creativity, all that good stuff. The subconscious mind is not. It doesn't understand logic. So all that stuff is that red sand. And it doesn't matter what happens after that. We call it blue sand. Even if it contradicts this, we're still filtering through the lens of the red sand. We see everything through that, no matter what happens after that. So those kind of things get stuck in there. And most of us, for a very long time in our lives, we don't question them. They just are. Why would you question a fact? Like pretty much we all know that gravity exists. Yes. Like you drop something, it falls down. You never float off the ground if you're walking down the street, right? Gravity exists. We don't question it. Well, our beliefs are often the same way for us. We don't question them. So I am telling you, question everything. Everything you thought you knew is probably wrong, which is, it's unsettling. When you really start to dig into it, it's unsettling because it kind of untangles your identity, like who you thought you were. And it's really uncomfortable for a while for most of us when we start to figure out like, well, what the heck? If that's not true, then who am I? It's kind of like in your 20s, you find out you were adopted. You're like, wait, my whole life is a lie. Well, no, but there are certain things you weren't privy to. Your whole life isn't a lie, but we tend to look through that layer of red sand and we see everything like black and white, right and wrong, all this good stuff. Not so good stuff. There is no good stuff. Oh my gosh. I'm going to go on this trail down the, what do you call it? Like a whirlpool. I'm just like going down the drain with my little analogies going nowhere. So back to finding your passion, your purpose. I believe that every single one of us, our purpose is to learn, number one, the truth of who we are and who we have always been. I believe we come into this life and we forget who we are, where we have come from, that we are source, we are God. And we spend most of our lives trying to remember that. And we choose to individuate as human beings, as with a body. And for most of us, much of our life is spent remembering where we came from, that we are one with God and that we are exactly as we were created. Nothing has ever changed. So anything you have ever done in your life, none of those things could ever make you any more worthy of love than you are already, that you were born to be, that it never changes. Your worth never changes. And nothing you've ever done could make you less worthy of love. You can't like screw up. You can't screw your way up out of it. That didn't make any sense. You can't mess it up. You are worthy no matter what. And I can tell you that. And your subconscious mind has got like, oh yeah, she doesn't know I've done this. Like there's tons of evidence to support whatever we believe or choose to believe. So the other thing I'm going to ask you to try on is, what do you want to believe is true about you? And seek evidence for that. Like, show me, God, show me how this is true. Show me how I'm worthy. I don't believe it. It sounds like complete BS. Show me, show me. All right. So play with that. I read this thing today. Oh, I should have brought it, but it was talking about, it's in the Way of Mastery, which is the spiritual book I read most often. And it was talking about when we get to that place where we are remembering as God, with God, through God, God through us, that one of the ultimate things is that we think limitlessly, we think lovingly, we think with infinite possibilities. But the last thing, it was in bold letters, like playfully, like God is playful. Our spirits are playful and we are here to play. And I've often said we can kick and scream through our lessons or we can play through them. And trust me, I have kicked and screamed through a ton of lessons and I would like to think I'm done with it. I'm not, right? Because I'm a human. I will kick and scream through a few more lessons, I'm sure, probably more than a few. But whenever possible, when I catch myself being too serious, I'm like, oh, you had me there, ego. You got me. You got me. I forgot who I am is playful. It's joyful. It's peaceful. It's love. It's abundance. All the things that God is. And when I catch it, I'm like, and then I can play. I'm like, okay, you have me. You got me for a minute there, ego. Nice one. 1 point ego. All right, let's go. Let's play. And when you learn to play like that, not only does it lighten everything up, because Abraham Hicks says there's nothing serious going on here. When we interpret things through this red sand, we make them important, which means that our survival systems come online. Our fight, flight, freeze, fawn comes, whoop, there's all those chemicals so that we can run really fast, or we can bite someone really hard, we can hide, or we can bat our eyelashes. That's what that equips you for. None of those are especially helpful in most situations we will be in this country or whatever country you're in as an adult. Now, I'll joke around sometimes, so I'll say, yeah, the fear response that made my legs really strong and made me really fast really supported me a lot as a child, because I had 2 older brothers and not a heck of a lot of parental supervision, at least in the summer. So I was running for my life regularly and I was fast. And now that I learned like how that's designed, that fear was really useful for me so that I didn't get beaten up. And it felt good to run. In that state, it feels so good to run. So I just did this podcast the other day and the guy says, so next time I'm afraid I should go run. I said, absolutely. I mean, seriously, it will feel so good to run, physically run, because you have extra blood in your legs. You have extra strength. And when you don't use it, your legs feel heavy and bleh. And then the thoughts start looping and then the emotions continue. So the emotion of fear produces a corresponding thought like, oh my gosh, I'm so afraid of this person, or what if this happens? And then it just builds and, it upcycles and it goes to a lot of nervous system dysregulation. So we don't want that, because when that happens, when your body is in a fight, flight, freeze, fawn response, you have zero access to your logical mind up here. You have zero access to creativity, logical thinking. Your body is not focused on healing itself or growing a baby or repairing something, whatever. It's not. It is focused on surviving the immediate threat. And here's the thing, the subconscious mind is very, very primitive. It reads data the same if you're being rejected or potentially, or you have the the perception that you're being rejected or you could be rejected, as you're being chased by a lion. So the same amount of chemicals go in your body in order to get you to run really fast to outrun the lion, but you can't outrun someone who's judging you. I mean, maybe you can. It'd be worth a try. It'd be fun. Someone's judging you online. You're like, oh yeah, catch me if you can. That'd be playful. Let's do it. So I want everyone to start running because I think it'd be fun, right? All right. So another thing I'm going to say comes from Bashar. Bashar is a being from another planet who is channeled by a human called Daryl Inca. Bashar says that in order to really get the most out of this life, always follow your highest level of desire. What is calling you forward? What do you want to do? And I remember doing this transformational leadership program where they actually asked us that, like, what do you want? And I cannot tell you how many of us had no clue what we really wanted. We were so afraid to speak it out loud, or so afraid to even dream about things, because what if we didn't get them? What if we failed? What if people made fun of us? What if, what if, what if? So really start asking yourself, what do I want? Oh, I love this. All right, I just thought of this. When I was in 12-step, we had these lists, like things that were not okay for us to do. For me, it was like, these things mean I am not sober anymore. They were called 3 circles. So that was like the middle circle. The inner circle was the things that means I'm not sober. So, things that were off limits. So if you're an alcoholic, drinking any alcohol, there you go. Easy enough, right? Or doing any other drugs, I think, for most alcoholics. So middle circle is the one outside of that, and it would be yellow light. So things like warning. So that for me could be scrolling online, right? Because I'm really tired and I'm mindless. Or it could be allowing my car to get messy. It could be being bitchy to somebody. I mean, it could be a lot of things, right? But the outer circle, this was like the green light activities. One way that I got to those is, where do I experience the love of God? Where do I feel like totally in flow, or like I'm generous or receiving love? Like there's this flow of love, flow of creativity. I feel really good. So for me, those are the activities that I want to focus on. So I feel really, really happy and in flow when I'm doing rapid resolution therapy sessions. I feel amazing. I feel on purpose, and I feel like I'm contributing, feel like I'm making a difference. Now I could say, like, doing this type of speaking, easy for me to say, right? So where I'm just channeling, I'm speaking from the heart. This is not prepared, right? That feels so good, so much in alignment to me, whether it's online, in person, having fun with people, laughing, doing yoga, doing karaoke, playing games with my kids, playing with my dog. Oh my gosh, I love that. So there's so many activities: meditating, journaling, reading The Way of Mastery. Make a list of those things and add to it regularly. Where do you experience your highest level of joy, excitement, passion? And just follow those. Your purpose does not have to be linked to your way of making money. It doesn't. You can live your purpose of being love and extending love everywhere you go, when it's your intention. So for me, when I'm setting intentions about my day, for example, how do I want to be? How do I want people to feel when they're in my presence? It's very important for me to feel seen, for me to have other people feel seen and loved and accepted, that they could tell me absolutely anything. And they know that it's safe, that they will be free from judgment. Like I'm there for it. Like I got you. And it's really important for me to convey that. And I do that through intention by connecting to my heart. What's on my heart for you? And also through vulnerability. Like when I talk about things that I've done or been through, I believe it gives other people permission to do the same thing. Well, she's done this. What I did wasn't nearly as bad as that. So often, if I'm doing a podcast or sharing, like something comes to heart or mind for me, then I will share it. But I don't share it just, I don't know, for any other purpose. Like I don't share it like, oh, look at what I've been through, poor me. Like I don't find that useful at all. So I share things in order to build connection with you, in order to share with you, hey, it doesn't matter what you've done. You're still worthy. Look at me. Like I can talk about this stuff. I have no shame, no guilt. Nothing happens in my body when I talk about, I don't know, I can't think of anything that I've done in the past, and I've done some doozies if you've listened to me for a while, that produces any type of disturbing emotion, sensation, or thought, like I shouldn't have done that, or that makes me a bad person, any of that. And trust me, I've done some things that most people would not agree with, would not say, oh, that's great that you did that. Oh, that's perfect. You're amazing. I've done a lot of things that people would say, you're going to hell. And that's okay. They're welcome to say that. So, how do you find your purpose and passion? One step at a time, my friend. Figure out what your highest values are. There are some free values tests you can take online. So, just look up free values assessment and operate from that place. When things are in alignment with those values and with your goals or intentions for your life, then say yes, pure yes. And before you do anything, any type of transition you have when you're going from home to work or work to the gym, whatever, set an intention for how you want to be, who you want to be. I want to be open-hearted. I want to be loving. I want to be accepting. I want to be approachable. Maybe I don't want to be approachable. If I'm going to a coffee shop to work, I might not want to be approachable. So choose what works for you in that moment. For me, it always starts with being loving. I want to be loving. I want to be loving, period. Loving to me encompasses accepting. It encompasses so many things: generous, kind, sometimes not kind, which is interesting. I don't know why I said that, but I'm going to go into it now. Sometimes the most loving thing I can do would be perceived as not kind, would be perceived as very direct, maybe even rude. But for me, if it's coming from God through me for somebody, I don't judge it. I'm like, I don't know what anybody needs or what anything is for. So I just say the thing, and I'm unattached to how it lands because it came through me. All right. So purpose. Remember these couple of things. When you are moving, taking any action at all that produces a level of excitement, joy, gratitude, love in you, you are in your purpose, period. It's not this big thing outside of you. It doesn't have to be a lofty goal. For me, I've lived my purpose if I shared love today, whether it's a loving thought or actually something physical, like I actually texted somebody or called somebody or made a difference for someone, held the door for someone, talked to a stranger. People that are around me, they're like, why do you do that? I love talking to strangers. I find it fun. But if you're doing that every single day, you're living your purpose. And God cannot intervene without your permission. So get quiet. I've been journaling recently, which I had stopped for a while, and it's so nice. It's so beautiful. Like I have these lovely conversations with God. I'm like, okay, what message do you, God, or my higher self, what do you have for me today? And what comes through is absolutely remarkable. And everyone has access to that. Everyone. Doesn't have to be through writing. You could ask. It could be song lyrics. It could be a poem. It could be anything at all. A billboard. Just ask. What would you have me do? Where would you have me go? What would you have me say and to whom? And just listen, get quiet, listen. One of the things that's come through for me in the last week with the journaling is create more quiet space, because you can't hear the voice of Holy Spirit, God, your higher self, over any type of noise. Like the voice of ego speaks first and speaks loudest. And if you're scrolling on your phone, that's a voice, it's noise. If you have the TV on, the radio on, that's noise. So get quiet and ask, like, what am I here for? What would you have me do? And even if you don't get the big answer, like, okay, you're here to be a messiah, like whatever. You're here to be an author, a speaker. If you don't get any of those big things right away, sometimes it's too much for us and it scares us if we get the whole picture. So just know that your guides know what they're doing. So ask for the next step. What's the next step? What would you have me do today? What would you have me do right now, this second, right now? And sometimes the answer is I need do nothing. You need do nothing. So just listen to the guidance. And when you get it, follow it and just have fun. Have fun with every single step. Like, even if there's something that happens as a result that wasn't what you expected, look at it and say, how I know this is for me. I know every single thing happens for me. And I do know that. I really have a knowing in my entire body that that's true. So when I can't see it, if something's disappointing to me, I'm like, okay, God, I don't see it. Show me how this is for me, because right now it feels pretty crappy. And something will open up. Something comes out of it that it's the next step. It's like, it's the stepping stones. Even if it seems crappy, just look at it like, hey, where's this taking me? Because it's taking me somewhere, unless I choose to spin, like say, oh, poor me. Why did this happen? If that happens, move the body, go run. Because if you move the body, that stagnant energy moves with you. So finding your purpose, I would say, make it less important, because it's not life and death. And your purpose is really to be love and to learn the truth, to remember the truth of who you are. And start also asking people, like, what do you think, if you were to say like the top 5 things I'm good at, what would you say? And really listen, because sometimes it's surprising how people see you and their blind spots. Again, it's like you're filtering through that red sand. They don't have your red sand, so they can see things you can't. So ask the people that are close to you and in the different realms that you travel. So at your gym, at your place of work, your friends, your family, like ask different people, like, hey, I'm just curious, like, I'm really working on finding my purpose and living a more purposeful life with passion and excitement. And I'm curious what you see as my top 5 strengths. And then really take a look at that. Like, wow, I didn't know that. Because usually things that you're best at, they're in your comfort zone. They're so easy to you that you think everybody can do them. But it's just that they're so easy to you. They're natural for you. And other people are like, how do you do that? Like, that's amazing. I wish I could do that. You're like, I don't know. I could do it in my sleep. Those are the things to really dig into and find. So I really hope this supports you. If you have any comments, any questions, please leave them below. And if you have any suggestions for next week's episode, the last episode of Irresistible You, Ignite Your Passion and Purpose, please let me know. Also, if you are suffering, or if something could be better in your life, if you're not having enough energy, or you're running into imposter syndrome, or any type of blocks at all, please schedule a complimentary call with me to see if RRT could help. And I will for sure let you know. I've had a couple people that now I know who I can help and who I can't. So I don't take everyone. So if I can't help you, I'll tell you, I don't think I'm your next best step. Try this instead. I'm very much in integrity with that. And I know what I'm good at and what I'm not because I've been doing this for a while. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. I love you so much. And may you see the reflection of your God self, like your Christ self, who you really are. May you see it through my eyes and come to embrace your full worthiness, your full lovability, your full power and peace. That is my wish for you. I will see you right here next week. Thank you so much for watching. Mwah.